Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things podcast, where today we're talking about a stupid show written by stupid people. I don't like any of them, but joining me to discuss it, it's Stefan.
Hello, good morning, afternoon and evening. How are we doing?
Well, I'm awful. Stupid show, stupid writers, stupid idea. I don't like it. There you go. I'll just get that out there. Yes, we are talking about The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2, and the title of the episode was...
Through the Valley.
So no sense of kind of with this. We did a little spoiler section at the end of last week. For those who stayed and listened, it happened. For those who didn't, we talked about what was going to happen. And we kind of went, oh, they're going to do it right away. That's surprising.
And they did do it straight away.
So I want to open the show this week with, before we dive into the episode, because me and you have got a lot to say on this, I think.
Yes.
But I am intrigued by the response to the episode. And when I say intrigued, it's because if you were to go purely by IMDb ratings, it's one of the highest rated episodes.
9.5 out of 10 at the moment it's sitting at.
There you go. However, if you read the comments on the Last of Us official kind of posts from any platform, and I'm not just talking about, the generic, this was crap, this was great, that kind of stuff. I mean the actual kind of where people have really thought about an opinion comments, because you're always going to get the, oh my god, you didn't do this from the game, that's lame, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the actual thought about opinions didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. So, to me, and I said this on the spoiler section last week, I was concerned that the casual viewer could be completely put off by this, similar to the viewers of The Walking Dead when Glenn died. You only got to look at that show and look at the audience drop after that moment to see a lot of people went, no, I'm done. I didn't want to see that, and you can keep your show. Have fun with it.
Yeah. I know my dad was one of them.
Oh, okay.
Like,
well, yeah,
dad,
there you
Glenn
go.
died and he was like, nope. And then he kind of like battled through it for like years later. He went back to it, started battling through it, and Rick went and he was like, nope. I'm done again. Nope.
Yeah. Rick going again was another massive audience loser for that show. But sticking with the last, I kind of said, I thought maybe casual viewers won't like this. But what was interesting to me is, there were quite a lot of comments of like, that's the lead of the show for me. I'm done. Like, I watched this show because Pedro Pascal was in it. You've lost me. What was the point in all of that season 1 just to kill him? So I was kind of like, okay, I was expecting a bit of that. But what I saw, which was really interesting, and you mentioned it to me as well, and I completely agree, but then I didn't predict it, was the sheer amount of comments of people who clearly aren't the game players, all right? So we'll come on to them in a moment, but people who just watched this show who just felt nothing. If you're going to spend 2 years apart between seasons, you need to make us get reattached to a character. And it was just comment after comment of, you gave us an entire season of 2 characters becoming this amazing, she was cargo to she is his daughter who will kill people for.
Yep.
Incredible growth. To then make us wait 2 years and to give us one episode where she's a cow to him constantly and you've got no idea why. You see him for about 3 or 4 scenes and then you have him brutally killed. we're like there's no kind of, we never had a chance to get back in. Like, you never gave us an opportunity to care.
Yeah.
And I sort of read that and I thought, God, they're right. Like, I wish I'd been clever enough the week before to say, if you are going to honour this game, because I said in the spoiler section, I felt they needed to change this. I felt you needed to keep those two together because that was the show. And although the game, you're basing, same as you're basing it on a book or anything, has a very clear thing and people would be mad, I think you're going to lose a lot more. But actually, a way of keeping it in and also keeping the audience engaged potentially would have been simply moving this to the end of the season.
Yeah.
But by doing it now, it's interesting because I watched again, and I know I'm using The Walking Dead as an example here, but it's because of the similar natures to the show and the fact that we had that Glenn death being quite a kind of brutal moment. And I felt that. Like, I felt that in my bones, that moment. I was invested. I loved that character. I then hated the people who did it, and to the point that this kind of redemption arc for the character that did it became really questionable. Me and you must have had the conversation about that so many times.
Oh, definitely.
It was of interest, but at the same time, I hated that moment. That moment impacted me, is what I mean. I still blame Daryl.
It was
that
Daryl's
moment
fault.
impacted me. It was totally his fault. We come back to The Last of Us now, and I watched that, and I knew it was coming because I'd seen spoilers from the game. But I knew Glenn was coming because the comic had come out 3 years earlier. So again, It wasn't the fact that I knew it was coming, but I watched that just going, meh. Oh well, Pedro Pascal's gone then.
Yeah, this was really strange. So in our house, we have kind of both things. So I've got myself, who is a gamer. I played the first game.
Yeah.
I've got my wife, who the extent of her gaming is Disney Dreamlight Valley and Stardew Valley. That's like the extent of her gaming. Yeah. So she is not into this sort of genre at all, but she loved the first series.
Yeah.
So we've been watching the second series, and we both watched it last night. And obviously I knew what was coming. She didn't.
Yep.
I didn't tell her. I'm not going to give her any spoilers.
Nice.
So I'm watching it, and I'm like waiting for it. And as soon as he kind of found her, I'm like, oh, this is it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get 3 or 4 episodes. It's happening today. Right, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and he dies. And yeah, I was the same as you. My reaction was like, oh, okay. And I looked over at the wife, and I was like, let's see what her reaction is. And she just kind of looked at me and she went, oh, seems silly to kill him off, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah,
see, that's not the reaction of what they surely wanted. They surely didn't want the casual viewer just going, well, that seems a bit silly to kill him off.
Imagine this episode was on the end of season 1.
Yep.
It would have been visceral. It would have been emotional heartbreak. It would have ripped us apart.
Yeah.
Because we just been so invested in this character and everything he'd been through. The fact that the show's jumped 5 years. I mean, time jumps happen in shows, but it's the fact that we've had 2 years between the shows. Like, a year gap, you still need to like get everyone back in, don't you? You need, how many times have me and you talked about shows where like, okay, the first episode was kind of, okay, here's everybody again, here's where they all are, remember that guy?
Remember this guy? Yeah.
Yeah. And then episode 2 kind of gets you back into the story and everything, but episode 1 is kind of a, hey everyone, remember us, we're back. We've just resolved that cliffhanger we left it on, and here we go again. And you're like, oh, okay, right, great. But when it's 2 years, you need to really get people back into it, because I watched this. There was a lot in this episode that was just epic. I want to compliment the visual effects. I really thought it was great. I saw a lot of negative stuff about that. Maybe it's just the TV I'm watching it on, but I thought it was really great.
I thought so, yeah.
Yeah. Like I was really immersed in it and thought, wow, they've done a really good job with this. So I didn't see a criticism there or whatever. But I when you think about the events of this episode, it was epic. There was a lot. There was so much, and just the kind of feeling of if this had been like this felt like it should have been built towards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is something. Okay, so we know the way this show is done. It's not enough episodes to have a mid-season finale, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But this is a sort of event that would happen in a mid-season finale, where you then have a few weeks away, just like, oh my god, what are they going to do? And then you come in for the second half of the season, and off it goes. With this, it was 2 episodes in, and I think one of the other problems is the way they've made Ellie's character in that first episode. The majority of the comments I saw were people going, well, what's her problem? Has she forgotten that he saved? He literally did all he did to save her life. Yeah. What is she being so miserable and grumpy and angry at him for? Come on. Yeah. And then
I saw a really great.
It now. This is the rest of the season. Is now following this moody, grumpy teenager. We've lost the main character, and I think even that's had people go a bit like my wife. I don't know. She said, I don't know if I want to watch an entire season of just her being moody.
What is really interesting as well is someone pointed this out. Now, we spoke about this after episode 1 of kind of teenagers, man. You know, you're just kind of like, oh, you roll your eyes at it. And in the actual episode, there was a lot of, oh my God, you're having troubles with your teenage daughter. And you're like, yeah, she's 19.
Yeah.
What is interesting to me is the comments I saw from a lot and this needs to come from women, not me, teenage girls that once were going, yeah, at 19, you're coming out the other end. Like at 19, you're really like, you've come out the other side of it now.
Yep.
So at that age, her behaving like she was acting like she was 15. And I'm like, actually, yeah, I get that. I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, my daughter's 16 currently, so I was like, yeah, this feels... So, like, in episode 1, I was like, trust me. Yeah, this feels like a vibe. And then people were like, well, no, she's 19. Like, they've had a 5-year... Now, I fear, because I hate this storytelling method, we're going to get a lot of flashbacks. And I tell you why. In this episode, in one of the calmer moments, Ellie on her patrol, with Jesse, I think the guy's name is.
Yep.
They come across, basically, a pot lab, a marijuana manufacturing site.
Yes.
And it was Eugene's, who was a firefly. And Jesse, again, we're getting these little hints and little references of it was sad that Joel had to put him down, but, you know, he had no choice. So again, I'm like, maybe you got bit. Maybe that's why the woman in the first one said, I understand why you had to do it, but I didn't like how you did it. You know, maybe I don't know, like, it's just kind of...
There's a lot strange. There that it feels like needs to be explained.
And so it seems to me that we're going to be set out, because we know an actor's been cast as that guy, so we know we're going to get a scene with him or some scene. So I'm of this opinion that if you're going to do this via flashbacks and stuff, which apparently is what happened in the game you get a lot of these flashbacks. For me, storytelling for TV and film, when you adapt anything, a book, anything, you have to adapt it. If you do it frame by frame, scene by scene, the mediums are different. You know, it just is.
Yeah.
and I like a video game, for example. You are playing it. You're following for a story. You're playing it. You can, I mean, you know, from games you play, you can spend like, okay, I know the story is ongoing, but I'm just going to spend a week or two just doing this like side quest, or like I'm just going to go off. I'm just going to go off on this tangent, and then I'll come back to the story at some point. So when people play these games and they know the stories of the games and they love these stories from the games, they also then don't take into account all of their enjoyment in playing that game isn't just derived purely from the story. Like my association with another game, which I hear there's now serious talks about turning into a series, is Red Dead Redemption.
What a game.
Love that game. The storylines of both of them, Red Dead and Red Dead 2, are great, and you could adapt them, and, you know, and trust me, that would be heartbreaking and brutal. But my fun associated with those games, mate, if you ask me now, tell me the story from start to finish, I'd struggle.
Yeah.
I know I enjoyed it, but I'd struggle. All of my happy memories are just from playing the game. I used to just ride around, you know. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to be a bad guy today. I'm going to rob bank. I'm going to shoot. Today I'm going to be a good guy. I'm going to go save some people.
So,
you know, it just
as we're on a bit of a tangent, I had that game on both PC and console.
yeah.
On the console, I was like absolute perfect sheriff. I was the good guy, and I played it as if I was the good guy. So I tried to do as little bad as possible.
Very good.
On the PC, I was just an arsehole, and I would just kill random people. And I was just the bad guy on the on the PC version.
Yeah,
so you can completely depend on how you want to play the game as to how like each person's memories are. And The Last of Us, from my memory of the first game, is a bit different. It is a bit more A to B. You can't go too far off the track because the idea is to get from there to there. So it's a bit more linear kind of storytellers in like you will go through this building, through there to there.
Yeah.
So there's not as much you can change, but in this situation, if there's going to be a load of flashbacks, you could have started this series
spot on.
2 years ago.
Where I'm going. Yeah, that's where I'm going with it, because her behaviour as a 15, 16-year-old would make sense, whereas 19, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
But also build towards this event. Like you were just saying about it being like a mid-season finale. Mid-season finale typically has 5-6 episodes leading into it.
Yeah.
As was. Or more, depending on the series. If this, like, the episode 1, episode 1 setting the groundwork for everything. Episode 2, 3, and 4 is just building towards, there's tension. We're seeing more of the infected. You know, we've just discovered there's loads under the ice. It felt rushed. It felt like episode 1 was like hinting at things, and we're like, okay, that's interesting. Then episode 2 was like, oh, well, it's all happening.
Yeah, here it is.
So, what?
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, so I think
rushed. I think you've used the right word there, rushed.
Yeah.
Because to be seen, like we saw a couple of bits in the first episode where we're kind of like, oh, how did that happen? Like I think we see like a giant bear carcass and stuff like that, and we're like, oh, now you would think, you know, we know of dogs and stuff that can rip through the infected, so a giant grizzly bear, that must have been quite an amount to get that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I wonder where that leads to. The next episode, giant fucking huge bloke. That'll probably be it. Okay. Mystery over.
That probably bodied the bear. Yeah, all right, great. A bloater. Brilliant. Thanks for letting us know. So, like I said, let's dive into the episode in a little bit more detail now. Let's start with Abby and her group. They're hunting Joel. They've kind of locked themselves in what was an old, now abandoned sort of ski lodge on the mountain by the looks of it.
Yeah.
They're freezing cold. And what I find interesting in this, and I want to get your opinion on it, because I know you've not played through the game too, so you're kind of basing this same as me purely on the series.
Yeah.
What do you think to her group? Because, and by the way, in season 1, I didn't recognise him, but it's the guy who plays Falcon is part of her group.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
And he seems to be the most on board with her. Whether perhaps he lost someone in that attack as well, I don't know. But he seems to be the one most like, let's kill him, let's, you know, like that. Whereas the others seem to be loyal to her. They understand why she's got to do this or whatever. But there's this great scene was like, about a plan. And the guy says, yeah, my plan is we leave. Like, we arrived here in the dark and now it's light time. We can see that this is a city, not like just a camp.
Yeah.
They've got guards, they've got this, they've got that. We try and kill Joel in there, it's suicide.
Yeah, he's like, we expect it to be like, you know, a power generator and a few tanks.
Exactly.
This is an entire city.
Yeah, with power lines and everything. So I find that fascinating. I want to kind of get your opinion on that, because later when the events play out, you actually see like members of her group are in bits, like they're in tears over what she's doing. So what do you think about her group and why they're there? Because I mean, it's been 5 years, so for that group to stay together that long on this mission, it seems strange to me that they were kind of questioning it now.
Yeah,
like you've had 5 years to talk her down.
Like you've been walking by the sounds of it for 5 years to get to this location. You have had enough time to kind of have that little devil on one shoulder and conscience on the other, kind of going, is this really what we want to go do? Like, we understand what he did was really bad, but, you know, does this make us worse? Like, you know, all of a sudden, they get there, and even they put Dina to sleep. Yeah. Even the woman doing that, like the girl woman who puts Dina to sleep, doesn't look like she's kind of like fully on board.
No, she's not comfortable with that at all.
And it's like, this is strange. Like, this is really strange that they've had this amount of time. Yeah. Did they expect just to kind of, there's a man in a tent, shoot him and leave? Is that what they were thinking was going to happen? And now it's not that. They're all kind of going, nope. Like,
well,
it's really
and
weird.
again, and I was kind of just sort of touching on it, but that woman, like you just said, she got incredibly emotional. She put her to sleep, etc., etc. There was another woman there who seemed quite hesitant, reluctant, but didn't really have any lines or anything. And obviously there's the guy who mentioned about, my plan is we leave because this is mad.
Yep.
In 5 years, did they not think about just quitting? Like, do you know what? You're on a revenge mission. This isn't for me. Yeah, like, this isn't what we planned. I want to go live a life. Like, I know, you carry on, because if you've... Like, the one guy, like I said, Falcon, who's going to be his name now, he seems like he was going to kill Ellie. Like, he's up for it. He's there. He's fully invested in the killing. I get that for 5 years he's, like, on side with her. But the others, I can't wrap my head around how over 5 years they've just tagged along. They've got to this point and now they're like, oh yeah, maybe this isn't good. Maybe it's like she said, like 5 years ago, I'm going to find him, kill him slow. She's then beating the guy to death and they're all just stood there like horrified. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, they're all horrified, but they weren't. No one was horrified enough to step in or to stop her, or it would have been like 4 or 5 v 1. Yeah, if they were that bad about it, they could have stopped her together.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, they were never going to stop her because they obviously agreed that what he did was wrong. But at the same time, and again, I guess I'm kind of coming on to this out of order, but I think we're in it, so let's discuss it. One of the things that troubled me with this, or not troubled me, but one of the things I found difficult in this, is we see the Abby character get herself into trouble. The group are back at the lodge. They're kind of like, trying to come up with a way of talking her down and getting, leaving this place because they feel it'd be suicide to attack.
Yep.
I mean, and she's on about, we'll capture a patrol, and they're like, and then what? Like, we said no one else is getting hurt. And she's kind of like, we'll just make them think we're going to hurt them.
Like, and you can see what happens when they don't tell us what we want to know? What do you do then?
Exactly. Yeah, they're kind of cottoning on to this. Yeah, you're really losing your mind on this. Like, I get revenge on that one guy, but we're not hurting anyone else.
Yeah.
So when she goes off and she gets herself in trouble, she basically wakes up the valley of the infected, so she causes all of this grief.
So going into visuals, that was
that was cool, wasn't
it? It was almost amazing. There was the one little grip I had.
Yeah.
Was it definitely looked like some of them just appeared out of thin air.
Oh, okay.
There was a couple of them. There was only one or two, but I did notice one of them that infected kind of crawls out from underneath his body, and then a second later another one just appears next to it, and I'm like, where the fuck did you come from?
I just kind of, I guess in my brain,
all of it was like, whoa,
he crawled, he crawled out from further out of frame and ran into frame. Yeah. That's kind of where my mind went. But yeah, I liked the one frozen slowly turning. I was like, oh, that's so good.
Yes.
Like, ooh, a living person. Lunch,
Very much so, yeah. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, and then they all came out. So that was great. I liked that. That was really good. That was kind of a great visual. And then she's being chased. She jumps up, gets over the wall, and then there's got that chain link fence, and the fence is going, and she's gonna get done, and Joel saves her. Now I know what's coming.
Just very quickly, I want to ask you a question because I genuinely don't know if this was just me remembering it wrong or not.
Yeah.
In the trailers, we see the scene of the chain link fence falling down and someone crawling through it.
Yeah.
In my head, for some reason, I remembered seeing that as Dina on the floor crawling through it, not Abby.
Yeah, so...
And I was so confused.
You know the jump to the ladder?
Yep.
I thought in the trailer that was Ellie. So again, similar to you, I think perhaps my mind is... I mean, I might go back and watch the trailer and see if perhaps they did a switcheroo on us, but I, in my mind, thought I was Ellie. So when I saw that scene, I was like, oh wow, I must have remembered that wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I'm watching her crawl and I'm like, I swear that was Dina doing that. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
well,
not.
there you go.
I'm going to watch the trailer again after this podcast.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
If this part is not in the podcast, we did remember it wrong and we just cut it out. That's fine.
yeah. If you're hearing this, we were right, because if we were wrong, we'd cut it out. One of the things that I guess he saves her life in that moment. He saves her life. She realizes when Dina calls him Joel, oh, this is Joel.
Yes.
So I want to put this to you because this is... I'm struggling to get my head around this, and I joined in a few discussions with people who are obviously very heavy into the game.
Yep.
And I was kind of putting this to them, and they were just really kind of angry almost that I was questioning this, but doesn't... He saved her. He literally saved her life.
Yep.
Do you not think at any point that would not give you pause? Like, I have hunted this person because he's a bad person. He's evil. Wait a minute. An evil person wouldn't have just saved the stranger.
Yep.
Like, he put himself at risk to save her. Why would he do that if he's this evil? Like, it's like, I don't understand. Like, she might have then still come to the conclusion of, even though you did this, one good deed doesn't wipe away, but at least show me that
slowly.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean with that? Because I got really shouted down, like, no, she was out for revenge. It doesn't matter what he did. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah. See, I have two bits. One bit is I agree. Yeah, not at one point did her or any of the group be like, but he just saved your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, none even of her group said it. No one even mentions the fact that he just saved your life. Yeah. Okay.
Nope.
Fine.
Nope.
And the other part was the fact that even when he was in the lodge with her, she's like, oh, I was told you didn't even look at him properly, you just killed him and all this. And at no point did Joel turn around and go, you know what he was about to do, right?
That was something I was going to come on to. Because again, I questioned
really
that.
pissed me off.
Like,
if you're about to get killed, like, Joel's just had his knee blown out with a shotgun.
Yeah.
You know you're like, I am facing death right now.
Yeah.
Surely you're going to at least try and explain the situation first.
I actually think I know why he doesn't, and it's quite dark.
Okay.
I think he deserves to be killed. I think the reason why he struggled for 5 years, the reason why Joel, has gone to therapy, even though he sort of lied about why he's in therapy,
Yep.
is because he's actually suicidal. I think he's actually struggled with that day and the events of it and everything else that's happened to him. Losing his daughter the way he did, all the stuff he's had to do to survive.
Yep.
All the loss, everything. I think he is living for Ellie, and she's now treating him like crap. And I think she's treating me like crap. Whether he's right or not on this, she's treating me like crap because of what I did. I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
I think actually it's quite a dark, because like you said then, he has a resignation to him. He gets his kneecap shot out and everything. They do a tourniquet on it to keep him alive, so he knows she wants to do it slow. If she wanted just to kill him, she's going to monologue, and he even tells her to fucking get on with it.
Yeah.
Like you said, he has the opportunity then to say, innocent. Your doctor was innocent. He was about to kill a girl.
He was going to kill a girl for something that might or might not have worked. Yeah.
He was about to kill my child. What do you think your father would have done if I was about to kill you?
Yeah.
You say that, and all of a sudden that group fractures.
Oh, 100%.
All of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
This is the rumour that you told us didn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. but he has zero interest in it. He has zero interest in saving himself, and so I'm
He literally
frustrated.
tells
Like
us to get on with and done with. Yeah.
exactly. So I was frustrated and angry that he wouldn't say anything. I was like, this isn't realistic to me. Like, this is like, you'd be, even if you were kind of like just angry, you'd be like, you mother, I saved your, do you know what I mean? Even if it was just that.
Yeah.
But once she starts saying where they're from, they're fireflies, this is why they're doing it, he's like, oh, well, I deserve this. And he just shuts up. And he just has this quiet, and I swear, the only part of him that, or the only time where he possibly would have stood up for himself was if Ellie was there, not Dina. And Ellie, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have, and it was kind of like, oh, I'm going to be murdered. Okay. And then when Ellie does come in, she's like screaming at him to get up. He tries, which is such a powerful moment, really. It's just like, she's screaming. He's literally at death's door. And he's actually like, yeah, okay, I'll try and get up because Ellie needs me to.
Yeah.
Like, and that is like, oh, that is, again, you know, he's thinking of her as his daughter, and you got kids, I got kids. Like,
that was quite a moment when he starts trying to move his hand to get up, and you're like, oh my god, okay.
Yeah. I mean, and it is true. Like, you would have to kill me. Like, my kid's over there, and you've got, like, you would have to kill me. Like, I am not being kept down.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and she does. She does kill him. She stabs him with the broken golf club, and ends him. And obviously, you know, Ellie freaks at that point. What did you think to Ellie's arrival? Because we know from the patrol and everything, she's then out looking for him. She spots the horse tracks leading up to the lodge. She gets there at the worst possible timing, or best. I don't know. I think it's the worst possible timing.
Again, I think this was a little something I had difficulty with, is that we have found out that this Abby character wants to kill him slowly and going to punish him and everything else. Yeah. We see him get shot. We see him take a couple of golf clubs to the knee, which, you know, brings out screams of pain. 100% it would. Yep.
Yeah.
We then see nothing else to him being basically dead on the floor and him punching in the stomach, in the back, you know. And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to sound like one of those people where I'm like, yeah, I wanted to see him tortured. Yeah, but I think it would have had more of an effect on the viewer if we had seen him.
I'm in two minds, and I'll tell you why. And I bring it back to the Glenn thing in The Walking Dead. We saw that.
Yeah, we did.
And the audience switched off. And I think doing this again, if you're learning lessons, also, I know my imagination does better than any visual effect.
Well, that's true, yeah.
I knew what was happening to him. I knew where that was going. I kind of, yeah.
We knew
like I said,
he was about to get the absolute crap beaten out of him.
Like I said, I'm in two on it, because like you, I feel like they did this wrong, but I think less about, like, for example, if this was 4 or 5 episodes, if this was episode 5,
yeah,
I think the exact same episode, me and you aren't questioning it. We're just like, oh my god, that was so brutal. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas because of the fact we don't feel that attachment, we don't feel that kind of, we're kind of like, oh, Pedro's gone then. Oh, well, I'll see him in the Fantastic Four in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that's crazy how we're not feeling that connection to
that
a character
loss.
That was so vital.
Yeah. But it's been 2 years, man. You know, it's been 2 years. We've watched how many shows in that time? I mean, like me and you talked about last week as podcasters, even if you take away the shows we podcast, I mean, we watched countless hours of television, films, read books, you know, spent time with the families. Yuck, you know.
Try not to.
We've done all of that in 2 years. I tried to avoid them. Awful people. But we've done all that for 2 years. So when we come back to it, we need to be allowed to reinvest. One episode isn't enough. One episode was like, I remember them. Oh, I remember them. Why is she being a bitch? That was my overriding feeling from episode 1.
Yeah, no, completely. What the fuck is her problem?
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, oh, I remember them. Oh, they're funny. Oh, that's a nice new guy. Oh, that's amusing. But like my whole episode 1 was, oh, that might pay back later. That's interesting. I wonder if that'll pay off. And it's like episode 2's gone, you know, all that stuff we hinted at. Here it is.
Yeah, here it is. There we go. All done
overload.
now. Yeah.
Overload.
We mentioned
Because
the
of
giant
episode...
horde. There they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay,
exactly.
thanks.
It's like there was no gradual build to that. There was no kind of like one of our patrols has gone missing. You imagine like the next episode, a patrol's gone missing. Okay, we need to go and find them then, don't we? Yeah, we need to try and find them. And then they're just trying to find them, and it's like all of a sudden you find that valley, and you're like, oh shit, we need to go around.
This doesn't look good. Maybe we need to tell someone about it. What if they start reanimating? Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
And there's that pipe with the cordyceps. In episode 1, me and you were like, oh my god, that's gonna be that's really bad. That's really bad. Episode 2, the guy just finds it. Oh, there it is.
And what's worse is the fact he finds it. He runs to tell someone about it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he never even actually gets to tell anyone about it because there's infected already outside. And I'm like, I'm watching it and I'm like, surely that is like 2 or 3 episodes worth of
where
does it go to? What should we do? Oh my god, is that going to lead them to us? Like, we literally see this gigantic horde chasing after the horses and then out of nowhere just kind of stop and turn.
Yeah.
And it's like, at first I was like, that makes no sense. What the heck's going on there? Then I was like, oh, okay, the pipe bit. Okay, right, that makes sense. The pipe was activated or whatever, and they've gone to there instead.
They all know where they are. Yeah.
Where's the tension? Where's the build up?
Man, spot on. Rushed. That is the best word. It felt rushed. Now the issue I think the show's now got is episode 1 was this kind of Episode 2 was like, what? That was a lot. Episode 3 pacing now. If that drops back down, this show's all over the place. Like, it's sort of, and you can't possibly keep it at episode 2 level. Like, I would be shocked that you could do that. I mean, cost-wise would be impossible. Visual effects budget would be through the roof. So episode 2 needs to dip down. Yeah, exactly.
They kind of almost need no infected people in the next episode just to kind of bring the budget back down.
Yeah. We just need an episode sat in one room. Ellie's doing some drawings.
Can you all just be really sad and mourning for an entire episode because we've got no budget? So it's all in the church. It's a funeral. That's it.
You've just said that. We're gonna clip it. Next week's just a funeral, 45-minute funeral.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we've got budget for this week, people. Thank you.
We have one location. No one like say anything. We can't afford to get retakes on this. So that coffee cup. Yeah, leave it in. We can't edit it out. We can't afford it. Starbucks. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Yeah. Just it's I don't know, man. We're gonna have to wait and see. But like I said, in this episode, it is non-stop because that aspect, that whole, Joel dying, that is brutal. That is, but it is such a massive standalone moment. It almost felt like you took from it by in the same episode having this other massive standalone moment of the town being attacked. Did you see what I mean by that? It kind of felt like it divided the impact of both.
Completely, because you're so invested on Joel is getting the crap beaten out of him, and can Ellie get there? What should have been a real tension of, oh my god, Ellie's found where he is. Can Ellie get there and save his life? Is she going to get there on time? Oh my god! Sort of thing. And then, at the same time, you're then getting cut back to Joel's brother Tommy, being chased with, and he's only got a flamethrower that's running out of pressure, and you're like, oh my god! And I'm like,
apparently that's the thing in the game. Apparently in the game, when your flamethrower starts to run out, that's a real issue.
I can well imagine. The game. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I guess in life in general, when your flamethrower starts, packing in and you're fighting the infected. I mean, I remember COVID, just walking in the supermarket with my flamethrower, keeping everyone there safe distance. But and when I get out of jail in a few years,
but there should have been so much more tension about the base being taken over.
Yeah,
there should have been tension about the Joel. Like, this is 2 episodes that they've kind of smashed together.
Merged. Yeah,
and I unfortunately think they've kind of lost the impact of both sides of the story.
Agreed.
because of the other one.
So let me just say a couple of things that I did enjoy, which I quite like. But it's interesting because I kind of, obviously the whole Joel aspect was kind of over there, but then I kind of liked that they had all these plans for the defense of the town. Now I know you don't like some, and we'll circle back to that. I liked the fact they went medieval on their ass.
Yeah.
So they had the ramparts, they had the kind of wall system, they had the kind of drums of oil, which are fuel, so they'll blow them up.
This being me, so I saw them lower down the bits that they obviously rolled the barrels down. My first instinct was, Jesus, people are going to lay on that to snipe them? They're brave. Whoa.
No, I knew where that was going. I was just like, oh, they've gone medieval on their ass. I like this. I was like, okay, this is really good. One of the things that was interesting is when they're talking about the plans and everything like this, and they're talking about, do you know what? Let me just put a little asterisk here, because we're talking about how this feels rushed. You know, in this episode, he literally has this like town meeting, right? Everyone knows the plan, everyone knows this, everything. Wouldn't it have been interesting again, like if we're just trying to space this out over a few episodes to build the tension, if we saw a few drills, a few kind of like where they're working things out, like, oh, you know, you need to barricade the doors and stuff, and then when the event happens, you see people forget.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, these little things could be hinted at, because like all that stuff in episode 1 that were hints, we were like, that's going to pay off, that's going to be interesting, where that's going to go. And it feels like episode 2's gone, here it is.
You know the plan,
you
go do it. And we're like, what plan? What?
Yeah.
Awesome,
and
you've got a plan. Can someone tell us what it is, please?
Yeah, could someone tell us, so that way we know if it's being executed correctly or not? Because like you said, you had an issue with the plan, which was no one locked the doors to the roofs.
Yeah.
So the infected stormed the buildings and ran straight to the roofs.
It's like, at least slow them down a little bit, people.
Barricade, yeah.
Even if it was just the actual door on the roof itself, barricade that so it's shut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I like you pointed that out, and I was like, do you know what? I didn't think of that. I think I was invested in the moment with Tommy and his wife, and I was thinking, oh, I think maybe one of them's in trouble here.
Yep.
Probably his wife. I think his wife's in trouble. So I was kind of, that's where my focus was. But you were right, because when they talked about, like, if you go down to the basement, you barricade the doors, and I'm like, so you know that's what you need to do. Like, it's like, but you go up to the roof and you're like, leave it open, get some air, it'll be fine.
Yeah, we might need to get to the staircases. They won't use them.
There wasn't a lot of logic to that, and that again, you could have built towards it, because imagine if they were like, okay, you get to the roof, you barricade the door, and then when we're watching everything happen, because you know, in frantic, like, oh my god, this is happening, someone would forget.
Yeah, just one door gets forgotten, and then you have the rooftop swarmed, and you're watching that guy. Oh my god!
Oh no!
They now can't even get down the stairs because they've barricaded themselves up there. Oh no! Exactly. Instead, it was just like, the plan's the plan. Let's go. What?
Yeah, and again, it's that rushed feeling of, if we'd had this, the impact of this episode. Like, could you imagine this episode happened? Joel and Ellie are there as well. So you've got Tommy this way, Tommy's wife, Tommy's family, you've got Joel, and we're like, oh god, are they all going to be okay? You know, Dina, and like, we just met her, she's lovely, oh no, please be okay. You'd have all of these aspects going on.
Yeah.
And then, like, the episode comes through, and then you have, like, an episode of kind of the aftermath to that.
Is them out now, then now the aftermath is them actually now out on patrol trying to re-get supplies, because so much has been ruined.
And they run into Abby. Yep. And
then she runs into Abby, and then we get this episode.
Yeah. So this
seriously,
this
HBO,
is my gripe.
hire us. We have ideas.
Yeah. But this is. I'm going to be interested. Get in touch with us. Let us know what you think, because me and you are kind of in agreement on this, which is it just feels like a wasted opportunity to build tension and to build the story, but me and you haven't played game 2.
No.
So there's obviously a storyline to game 2, but I'm going to say this now. I've not played game 2. I don't know any spoiler on this aspect of it. This is purely me saying it. So if I nail this, it's purely a guess. I have a fear that Ellie is going to, by the end of this, like season 2 or season 3, is going to be like, her and Abby are going to be mates, or or worse. But I have this kind of fear in this because I tell you why I have this fear. There's no logic to me in watching what she watched her kill Joel.
Yep.
One of the things I respected in The Walking Dead is when they did this whole story arc where the guy who killed Glenn had this big redemption all the way. There was one character who never accepted it, and that was Glenn's wife.
Yes.
And I completely understood it. Even Glenn's son was kind of like, yeah, he's all right. He saved me. Everyone kind of accepted him. Yeah, he is what he is. But she was like, and she said she had this amazing scene, if you remember, where she was like, I can't look at you and not think about what you've done. So even though you've done all this stuff since, and I respect that, I hate you.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm kind of this opinion that like she cannot. If they go that way, I'm going to be disappointed. Is what I'm saying. Like I think she cannot. Like you try and do this arc now where Abby's murdered Joel brutally. And by the way, it was brutal. Like, that didn't need to go that way. He shot her dad in the head.
Yeah.
She beat him to death. Who's more evil?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Did you see my point? You are torturing someone to death. He shot them to save a child. Who's more evil?
Who's the bad guy here? Yeah.
Yeah, and so... Although I get her need, I get her want for revenge, I get that. Someone kills my dad, I'm going to be coming for you.
Yeah.
But there's the whole thing about... Sorry, this is such a tangent. Someone breaks into your home. British law now, after the adjustments, you can defend yourself with lethal force if you feel your life's in danger. Someone breaks in with a knife or something and you end up stabbing them to death. You are going to get acquitted now under British law because they broke into your home. You were fearful for your life.
Okay, yep.
If, however, the police arrive, you've tied them to a chair and tortured them for 3 days and then killed them, that's
You're
different.
probably going to get in trouble for that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what they broke in doing. It doesn't matter. You subdued them, tortured them to death. That's not okay. Alright? So there are variations, and I'm just saying that out loud to remind myself in case someone breaks into my home. I have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Kill them in the moment, not over several days. That's what I have to remember. But my whole point on this is you look at this in her actions and the way her group reacted to what she did as well, it's not okay.
Like, even the very end of the episode, we see them walking away.
And they look...
They're all like absolutely shell-shocked. Even her herself.
Yeah.
She even looks like she's thinking a little bit, that might have been a bit much.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even her
Don't
face is saying that. Her whole group are like absolutely
Yeah.
shell-shocked. Like, what did we just do? Oh my God. And there's that part of me that's like, again, I'm the same as you. So for the listeners, I've played the first game. I have not played the second game. The only part I know from the second game is what we have just seen. That is it. The fact I think the Abby character looks spot on to what Ellie looks like in the game, I feel like they've got the wrong character actress thing. That's beside the point. Abby is Ellie. It's really weird. But anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing was, like, I don't know anything else is going to happen. But there cannot be just these characters now walk off into the distance and we never see them again because they've succeeded in what they wanted to do. So that's it. That's done now.
Yeah,
that can't happen because that would be really freaking weird.
Yeah, and we know Ellie's going to go.
We know Ellie's short. Yes, I mean, Ellie has to go after them for revenge. You killed him. So then you kind of get into this weird kind of circle of, well, Ellie saw them kill him, so now she's going to go and kill them. And then someone's going to see Ellie kill them, so they're going to go and try and kill Ellie. Are we just going to become this weird circle of revenge death?
No, I've just worked out what they're going to do.
Oh, God.
Ellie's gonna get her cornered, and then she's going to let her live because it ends the circle of violence. I can sense it. I can feel it in my bones.
Oh, no.
She's going to be like, oh, if I kill you, then people will avenge you, and I need to learn... that's what's going to happen.
If I kill you, I become as bad as you, and Joel wouldn't want that.
Yeah. Right, if that happens, everybody, you can expect an episode of just me going.
Yeah, no.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. That's why when you were saying the circle, my brain went, "Oh, I know what they're gonna do."
It was as I was saying it, my brain went to the Ellie's gonna not kill her because Joel wouldn't want that. Oh no.
Yeah. I can tell you what Joel definitely didn't want, and that was a golf club to the skull.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to just focus as we wrap this up on the assault on the town. I thought visually that was brilliant. I thought it was wasted a little bit being in the same episode, but we've discussed that.
Yeah.
I think what I really liked about it is it felt I felt like characters were in danger.
Yes.
I didn't feel
know who was
there was
die.
plot
Anyone
armor.
could have died in that town.
Exactly. Yeah. I felt that. Tommy and his wife especially, I was kind of like, oh no, I will say I did feel Tommy would be okay simply because I knew Joel was dying. So again, if this had been in different episodes, I might have had a bit more of a kind of, oh no. But there was that moment where he got cornered and the massive ones turning around, and I was thinking, I don't know how he's going to get out of this.
My brain was waiting for his wife to come around the corner and shoot it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, if he doesn't die, then surely it's the wife's about to save him with a headshot.
Yeah, and possibly die herself in saving. Do you know what I mean? Like something horrific's about to happen here. Like his son's gonna run out, Daddy, no!
Yeah.
like the worst possible scenario. But
then
I actually quite liked him,
and I was like,
actually quite liked that. I actually thought that was great because the thing had been shot to shit.
And burned
it had
alive,
been torched, yeah. So I did actually like the fact the thing was just going and just dropped because because he has like a real emotional outburst after he's really like tears everything.
Yeah.
I get that. Like that is how you would react to like that.
Definitely.
So I thought that was good. I thought that was because it didn't need someone saving him. Do you know what I mean? It didn't need someone coming out like that. It made sense, and it was just how frightened and how much of a reminder would that be to you how quickly things can go wrong, and how lucky he was that he managed to walk away
he
from
finds his wife in the street and they hug and you see his legs buckle and
he's gone. It was good. Wow. It was very good. I felt that.
Yeah.
That was well acted, well done. Really, the music was good. I just the whole ending to the episode, like Joel being dragged behind the horses, Ellie in pieces, the guy Jesse basically obviously having to try and just get everyone back to the town.
Dragging him through the snow I felt was a bit rough. Slump him over the back of a horse. Come on.
I did have to wonder about that because we saw Abby's group leave. They didn't take the horses, so technically there were 4 horses there, and they're only using 2.
That's a very good point. Where the fuck are the other 2 horses?
So he literally could have been over another horse with a spare horse.
They could have had a horse each and have him over one. Yeah.
Yeah. I did wonder.
Yeah, okay.
I like off-screen 2 horses have gone, nope, we don't want to be golf clubbed, laters. but yeah,
that's
I
a good
didn't
point.
Get
Where
that.
the other 2 horses?
Where are the other 2 horses? Anyone? Answers on a postcard? Because I imagine they're a pretty serious resource as well. Like, you wouldn't want to just be leaving them around.
When they get back to Jackson, not only are they going to be like, oh my god, this place is ruined, Tommy's then going to turn around and go, where the fuck are my horses?
You're having a bad day when they come back and they're like, okay, the place is ruined. That's right, we can rebuild. Yeah, the guy in charge of that's dead.
Your brother dead, and we forgot 2 of the horses. Sorry.
And the horses are gone. Ellie's a bit traumatised. just so you know. And Dina doesn't look too good.
She's had a rough day. She had a nice sleep, but rough day.
Yeah, but me, I had a great time.
Yeah.
I was riding around. I got avoided all this carnage.
Jess is just kind of I don't know. Yeah. I left her for 2 minutes. I don't even know what happened.
I went back and rolled one. I just had a really relaxing day. I don't know what's going on with you guys. Yeah. This I don't know. It's gonna be strange because I do like the show, and I know it sounds like I've kind of shit on it a little bit in this episode, which I don't mean to. I just, to me, I'm kind of thinking things of like, God, I hate this constructive criticism. I'm kind of like, I don't understand why you've done it this way, when I feel like it could have been done. But then but going back to the thing I started with feedback, I saw countless people who were game players just bemoaning, I don't like how they did this. This should have been included and it wasn't and stuff. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, so you've not pleased anybody. like, the rating's good, but then when you read the actual, like, there's just like, you've not.
That's not
vast,
good.
like, seems to be like when the game players are going, oh, this wasn't right because you didn't do this and you didn't include this, and oh, I feel really let down that you didn't do this, and you got just the casual viewers going, well, that was mental. Oh, he's dead, is he? Oh, well, never mind. Then I ain't gonna bother. It just feels like you, like I said, me and you could have let it build a bit more.
Yeah.
By doing this kind of, well, the game does it in flashback, so we're gonna do it like that.
No, it would have worked better actually if you'd have just given us an extra few episodes of the flashbacks.
Told us it linear. Yeah.
It's like, there's the goal. That's what we're aiming at. What have you hit over there somewhere?
It does feel that way. I mean, look, the season isn't over. The season's literally only 2 episodes in. We will watch it and we'll see where it lands and see how we feel. But after 2 episodes, I feel like they've made a mistake. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Is there anything else from the episode, my friend, you wanted to dive into?
I don't think so. I think we've kind of come like, I don't want to sound like I'm just having a go at the show this week.
No.
But yeah, it felt like it missed. It really did.
And it should have been.
It could have been so good.
Yeah.
And I've left the episode kind of just going, okay.
Yeah.
Like last season, every time that show ended last season, me, you and Kaylee were messaging each other because we all had to watch it that night. We were messaging each other about the show, like, oh, this is amazing. This season, I watched the first episode and I wasn't even going to watch that episode that night. It was only because I was watching a football match that was so bad that I turned the football off and put the show on. I was actually going to watch the show tonight when we record this, so we recorded it a day earlier than we were going to. But I wasn't even like, oh my god, I've got to see it tonight. Now that for me is a big concern. Like, there's a lot of shows that we watch for this podcast. I would say at least 85% of the shows that we watch for this podcast, I have to watch the night it comes out.
Yeah, when the episode drops.
Like, that episode drops and I'm like, there's been some episodes of shows that we've watched where I'm like in my lunch break loading it up and watching it because I have to see what happens.
Yeah.
And this show, after the first episode, I was kind of like, yeah, I'll make sure I watch it before we podcast. I want to watch it, but I wasn't in that I need to watch this right now before anything else.
Yeah.
That for me is a concern.
Yeah, that's fair. But I put that down to the time and the fact they've not given us an opportunity to reinvest.
Yeah.
I think episode 1 was okay, and I think if episode 2 had built tension, I think you'd be like, after episode 1, I get it. I think everyone was kind of, because it was, I think episode 1 was just a welcome back. You know, here is everyone, and I get that, and you need that, especially after 2 years. So, like you, I think most people were just kind of like, oh, okay, well, that was what it was. I think if episode 2 had like built a lot of tension, kind of gone into some stuff, building towards, then all of a sudden episode 3 is like, oh, I gotta watch that because I know, like, this is gonna happen. This, you know, this is building towards something. The fact that it was kind of like episode 1 was like, welcome back. Episode 2 is like, have everything at once. Oh my god. Like, what the hell? So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to see where they go with it. I mean, we know there's characters and locations to be introduced because of the trailer. We saw them in the trailer. And obviously there's a big storyline to Game 2, which me and you don't know anything about. So we know that we're going to get that.
Yep.
We know that next week we're going to be dealing with the fallout from Joel's death. Ellie recovering, because obviously she took a beating herself, quite nasty. We know that Dina heard everyone's names, etc. So is she going to say to Ellie, I know where they're from?
Yeah, I heard all this stuff. I know what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be interesting, because mightn't she want to keep that from her, because she'll know she'll want to go after him.
Yep.
And obviously she cares for her. I did. And also Tommy. I mean, that's his brother, and that's not going to be easy for Tommy. Because of the town as well. You think about Tommy's life is post-apocalypse has been that town and his brother.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tough moment for him. You know, what happens next, and also the town, the fallout of the town is going to be, you know, a lot of people have just died, a lot of people have been bit and are going to need to be put down. A lot, you know, it's nasty.
That at the end of the episode, where that guy literally just lifts his arm up and shows that he's been bit, bang, dead, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah. But this is the brutal nature of what the world is in this show.
Yeah.
And what is, you know, what do they do now? Because they are going to have to, like, almost, you're going to have to, like, gather everyone who survived and almost do, like, a full body check, aren't you? Because you can't run the risk of someone like, I don't want to be shot, I'll just keep it quiet. Maybe I'll be all right. I just won't
tell them, it's fine. Someone's got to be immune to it. Ellie's sitting there going, no.
Yeah. Ellie's there cutting the teeth marks out so it just looks like a cut. What are we on about? Yeah, it's fine. There's a lot of fallout next week, which there's a lot there for us to kind of, okay, this is going to be quite an intense episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I am looking forward to it. It's not like I've been put off the show. It's not like I watched that and went, nope, I'm done. Good luck, everybody. It just it felt like they wasted an opportunity with this to make it bigger. That's my feelings.
No, I agree with you. I think that is pretty much spot on. This should have been 2 episodes. It could have built up the tension that we needed and brought us back closer to Joel's character, because last week he repaired a guitar, he had an argument, he pushed someone over.
Yep. Yeah, it's difficult to feel the affection, the love, the attachment when you've had that long kind of, okay, what's going on now then? Why is he doing that? Why is that? Why is he saying that? Oh, he's dead. All right. So it doesn't matter why he was doing any of that.
Yeah, pretty much. He wants to win it back over. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. All right then. Never mind. Yeah. So there we go. That was our show. That was The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2. We are back. We've just finished our Marvel Daredevil run. 9 episodes, Season 1. That show's coming back for Season 2 next year. I'm delighted to say it's only a year away.
Yes.
That show was very, very good. If you've been watching that and you've not heard us, then please give that a listen. All the episodes are available from all the podcast platforms. Also, you can find a full archive of every show we've ever made on our website. Coming soon to this show is Star Wars Andor Season 2. The release schedule for this is causing podcasters and everyone a little bit of an interesting problem.
Just a bit of fun with that one, wasn't it? Yeah.
They're dropping 3 episodes. Now, the reason why they're doing this is because the show time jumps. So it's important to realise, I think it's 12 episodes, 4 lots of 3. And basically what's happening is they're giving us the blocks, and then at the end, so each 3 episode block is telling a story. Then you're going to have a time jump through the rebellion. So if you go from episode 1 of Andor season 1, you will get to the last episode of season 2, and in theory, and of course we've not seen this yet so we don't know, but in theory what we're being told is you'll then be able to watch the end of that episode and just put Rogue One on. It'll just roll right in, and then of course you all know when you finish Rogue One you can just put, you can start the films. A New Hope, it just goes straight into A New Hope.
Yes.
So it is. I love that they're doing that. I love the way this was built. So yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, keep an eye on our show for that. That's coming very soon. In fact, in the USA, those episodes are available today as we record this.
Yes,
in the UK, it's tomorrow. Yeah. So there, that's it. You can get in touch with us via email. You can find us on our Discord. The link to that is in the podcast description. Until next week, everybody, you're fans of The Last of Us, you all take care.
And we will see you all very soon.
Will we see them? Because it's a podcast.
No, we won't. We will talk to you all very soon. You did it. Look, you left me, didn't you? You left me to think of my own thing and I couldn't. Bye, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.
Do you want me to... No. I'll redo it. It's cool. I won't. I promise. I won't leave this in.
No, it'll be fine.
Right.
The people need to know what happens behind the scenes.
I'll leave you all with this, and I'll try my best to hope I don't traumatize anybody.
Joel, get up. Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.